In this tutorial, I'm going to present to you our new archive paradigm, which is slightly different than previous versions of QSControl's Venue Manager that you may have used in the past. I already have Venue Manager open, and in this case, it's a multiple document interface, or MDI, tabbed view, which is pretty much how I'll keep utilizing the screens throughout this tutorials. Over here on the far right side is the archive folder. In previous versions of Venue Manager, the archive folder was completely part of the venue file, of the project file that you created. Every time you worked on a new inventory of devices, you had your own set of archive folders that were unique for that project. So if I was making a design, say, for a church, it had a collection of archived items in it, config files. If I then started a new project later on for, say, a gymnasium or a concert hall, then it had its own archive folder as well. The problem was that if I'm using the gymnasium or designing for the gymnasium and realized that I needed a config that I had previously designed back when I did my church project, I couldn't easily just drag it into my new design. I had to actually go back to the old design or the old venue file, export that config file from the archive, import it into the archive folder of my new design, and then continue working. We've improved that quite a bit. The archive folder is now completely independent of the design. From the standpoint, it's global. It's a true library of archived items. And I could have an icon, I could have an item itself in there, for example, with basis 922AZ config that I might be designing. Let's call this a new design. Let's call it new basis design. And that will now appear as one of the configs, and I can double click on it and certainly start designing with that config there. If I work on a new project, I could actually put a subfolder under the archives, and this would be my new project. And there I have a subfolder, and maybe I have another folder in there for my second project, and it's got a subfolder. Each of those could have their own designs in them. So I'll put a new archive item in here, and this will be maybe a 522UA design. And we can see that that's now a sub-design, whereas this one, the new basis design icon, is a subcategory of archives. Now I'm free to drag that to the new project, or maybe my second project, and there it's now part of the second project, or I might want to drag it up to there, or maybe I want to copy one of those back into the archive, but specifically to the second project. And now I've just made a new copy of the 522UA design and was able to go and add that. You can also right-click on the archive folder and just explore it as you would any Windows Explorer folder, so that in the archives folder where I am right now, which happens to sit in the applications of QSControl Net, of QSC Audio, in your programs folder, there's the two projects that I've created there. If I make a new folder here, and I'll call it my third project, then sure enough, that's appeared over here. I'm free to delete it from my archive folder if I want to, and we will see that in the Explorer window it's been deleted. So you can freely go back and forth. So the archive paradigm is much more versatile and user-friendly than it was in the past, and I'm free to drag these archive configs and designs either into the design window itself to start working on it. Just double click on a design and the window opens up for it. I can also drag them into actual basis devices that I may have listed over here on the left side of the screen. So we'll be seeing that too in future tutorials that I'm going to be showing you. So that's our new archive paradigm, and hopefully you'll find that it is much more intuitive and user-friendly, and you'll take full advantage of it.